Well, here now is Mike Howell, Heritage Foundation Senior Advisor for Government Relations and a former DHS Oversight Counsel. Mike, thanks for being with us. Griff's painting a very grim picture here. He's talking about what they're dealing with on the border already, pre-caravan. Now we're talking about that caravan, which has grown to 15,000 on its way. Help the viewer understand what it's going to be like on the ground as that caravan approaches our southern border. What is that going to mean for Border Patrol agents? What is that going to mean for safety?
Right. It's obviously a chaotic situation. There's a lot of human carnage on the way to the border. And when they're in the hands of the cartels and the human smugglers, there's no value for the sanctity of human life. But what's going to happen when they arrive at the border is under this administration, the Department of Homeland Security has turned into daycare providers, Uber drivers. Instead of turning them around at the border, they will welcome them in, facilitate their entry throughout the entire country, and then allow them to stay. It is no longer under this administration grounds for removal for the country simply for illegally entering. You have to do something additional after you're already here. So what will the government do? We'll be their taxi, their flights, and then we'll pay them benefits. And pretty soon they'll show up on the voting systems, and that's exactly what the left wants.
Well, on that point, Mike, the Department of Homeland Security reportedly considering sending migrants from the southern border to cities deeper inside the U.S. Now, the agency says they haven't made a decision on that yet. But you think about the problem at the border. This is you can see the NBC News reporting on this. Sending migrants further into the country. I want to link that to the drug issue, Mike, because we're getting reports, 237 pounds of meth seized at the border, I think just today. Fentanyl is a huge issue. As you send migrants deeper into the country, Mike, does that create even more pathways for these deadly drugs to get deeper into the country?
Oh, absolutely. A general rule of thumb when it comes to Homeland Security is that you want to push threats out further away from your border. That's why we want people to apply to come here in their own countries and go through the legal process so we can vet them and then ascertain whether they should come here in the first place and whether it's in our national interest to do so. This administration has betrayed the country. They're doing the opposite of the Homeland Security focused mission. They're moving the barriers and the borders internal to the country, into the interior. They're shipping them into the United States where they will disappear and never be removed. Of course, this is a great environment for drug dealers and cartels to flood the system with drugs. You simply cannot control a border that is purposely overwhelmed by inviting this many people like the administration has. And it's showing up in the numbers. It is now the leading cause of death is, drug overdose, 18 through 45-year-olds. It's unconscionable that the administration will not stand up for this absolute, loss of life that's occurring solely because our borders being overrun.
Mike, take this up to a higher level. I want to talk about the leadership at DHS because you look at the policy here, it's not driven by practicality. It's not driven by reality on the ground. It's not driven by law. It seems to be driven entirely by an ideology that has a political agenda beyond border security. You've spent a lot of time looking into the politicization of DHS, what's happening there now. Talk about what you're finding and what's happening behind the scenes to create the things that we're seeing, the policy that we're seeing at the border right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is an ideologically driven operation that's been in motion for absolutely decades. If you look what happened in Europe over the last couple of decades, with the mass, migration there and the disruption of their internal systems, that's what's being replicated at our border. And that is because a lot of the people from the outside, these groups, these nonprofits, and George Soros and his billions of dollars, they're dedicated to making a new normal of mass illegal migration. That's because they fundamentally want to change the United States, and when it pertains to Europe, Western civilization as a whole. They feel that if they flood this country with illegal aliens, it'll become a politically beneficial system to them. Think about it. When this many people come into the country, it is destabilizing. They're dependent on our welfare state, what we are now. You cannot have open borders in a welfare state. So you develop this permanent constituency for leftist politicians. It is their quickest way to change this country towards what they want it to be. And that is a vision that is incompatible with our sovereignty, security, and well-being. And the fact that our, quote unquote, leaders are doing this is a fundamental betrayal of our country that, frankly, I have never seen in any of my reading of United States history. It's unconscionable.
Mike, we appreciate that perspective. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, thank you for having me.